All right, well, joining us now is Fran Hogan, who is one of the pro-life women featured in the Basement Talks. Fran, thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me to come and share about this.
Yeah, this is really exciting to have you in person for this. So, what were the events that led up to those two murders that we saw referenced in the trailer for the Basement Talks? And this is what led up to you and 3 pro-choice women and 2 other pro-life women to meet secretly in a basement here in Watertown for 6 years.
That's right. It all happened on December the 30th, 1994, when John Salvi went into 2 abortion clinics and killed 2 people and wounded 5 people. And Cardinal Law and Governor Weld at the time asked for high-level talks to try to lower the rhetoric to prevent future violence. So that's what the initial reason that we came together was.
And so, Fran, when you started meeting, what was your history with the pro-life movement up until that point?
Well, I've been involved in the pro-life movement for well more than 50 years. As a young attorney, when I became aware of Roe v. Wade, I was so shocked because I always thought the Supreme Court would protect those at the margins of society, and it turned out that it did not. So that's when I became active, and I wound up being president eventually of Mass Citizens for Life. I worked with Dr. Joe Stanton at the Value of Life Committee, and we formed Women Affirming Life, which became a national pro-life organization. Later, I had the opportunity to serve on the Pontifical Academy for Life for 20 years. So I had a lot of work within the community, but never, ever had I sat down with people with whom I so profoundly disagreed.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I read was that with the women, you guys had to agree upon some language to use so that the conversations wouldn't get too heated. So can you give me an example of some of that language?
It wasn't even just so they wouldn't get heated, it was just so we could talk to each other. We could, you know, what do you call what's developing in a woman's womb? They wouldn't call it an unborn child, and we didn't want to call it a fetus because it was dehumanizing. So we fought tooth and nail, and we agreed on, you know, human fetus, which nobody really liked. But they, you know, they didn't want to be called baby killers. They thought we were completely subservient to men, to priests, and totally religious, prudish women. So all these words went up on kind of charts on the walls, showing the words that we could not use. It was almost impossible to talk at the beginning because we had to come up with a whole new vocabulary to have real discussions.
And was one of them, because in the trailer, someone asked you, are you anti-abortion? And you said, no, I'm pro-life. So was that one of the words that you guys decided they would call you pro-life instead of anti-abortion?
Yes, actually that question was asked at the murder trial of John Salvi. I was a witness at the murder trial, and the prosecution, when they introduced me, said, so you're in the anti-abortion movement, and that's why I said no, pro-life. But you know, a lot of us didn't want to call them pro-choice. We finally decided we'll call people what they want to be called, and let's get on to the substance of the discussion that we're going to have. And the facilitators are wonderful. They gave us the tools that we needed to figure out how to talk across this just almost unbridgeable chasm.
I want people to know that the Basement Talks is available for viewing in a number of different ways on your television, and we're going to talk about that later. But Fran, I have to ask a question that probably is in the minds of a lot of our viewers. In these conversations, in the Basement Talks, were you able to change the hearts and the minds of any of those who were pro-abortion?
I don't think so. However, I always feel that you put the truth out there, and maybe at some time in the future it will seep into their hearts. I felt that we needed to be at the table with these people and to present our views. And I don't think I changed anybody's mind, but that's all we can do, is be there and speak the truth in love, which is what we tried to do at those talks.
Amen.
So what would you say is the benefit of these type of talks? Say other people want to engage in these type of talks, even if no minds are changed.
Well, I'll tell you, right in the situation we're in now politically in this country, I mean, families can't even talk to each other. Half the country doesn't talk to the other half of the country.
Isn't it the truth?
It's just wicked. So I think even though this happened 30 years ago, I think the lessons we were taught are helpful in the current environment, even aside from the abortion issue, because people are not able to talk in a civil manner. And the facilitators taught us some tools, and one of the most important was, don't be forming your answer when someone is asking you something. Repeat what they're saying. Half the time, they didn't say what you thought they said. And that's something that I've learned to use, not only with the abortion, but in other areas of my life.
So in this experience, have you found ways to help people and yourself to dialogue better, especially when it's a topic that people don't disagree? I mean, people don't agree with one another on. Are there methods that you've learned?
Yes, I think that the facilitators were terrific at that. Yeah. One of them was the idea of actually listening, not just hearing, but listening, and also trying to express yourself in words that will not bring passion in the other person, but will bring a real response so that you can get an understanding of where their position is coming from.
It almost sounds like synodality in a way.
You know, I thought of that. I thought of that recently. There may be some truth to that. There may be some. And of course, Pope Francis has been huge on dialogue.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I think that that encouragement is important to the wider society now as well.
The basement talks.
The basement. It was in a basement with no windows for 6 years.
Here in Watertown, which is
That's
amazing.
right, right
That's
in
where we're
Watertown. That's right.
filming this, yeah.
That's right.
Now,
that's
I have
right.
Amazon Prime.
Yes,
an account. I
understand.
have it on my TV. Is that one of the places that people
I
can
think
watch
it is, and I think
Basement
it's
Talks?
also on Google and Apple and a few
TV.
other places, I think. I'm sure you could Google it and figure it. And it's been shown on PBS several times.
So just Google The Basement Talks. I'm
Yes.
sure people will find it.
Yes, I
and
think
it's
so.
several episodes. It's not just one long documentary. There's several episodes.
It's about 6 hours worth in 6 separate sections, but PBS has about an hour and a half version.
Great.
Starring our own Fran O'Connor.
Yes.
Fran Hogan, I mean. Fran Hogan, I mean. That's the other lawyer.
All right. Well, Fran, thank you so much. It was
Oh, I'm
great
delighted
to have
to
you
be
on
here.
set. Yes.
Thank you so
Fran.
much.
God bless you. Yeah.
Thank you.